Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. The Diagnostic Trouble Code, P0461, pertains specifically to the fuel level sensor circuit in the 2006 to 2011 Honda Civic. This code indicates a performance problem, meaning that the sensor responsible for measuring the amount of fuel in the tank is not working correctly. The fuel gauge sending unit, located within the fuel tank, sends information regarding fuel levels to the Engine Control Module, ECM, which processes this data to display on the dashboard gauge. It's essential to address this issue as it can affect the vehicle's performance and fuel efficiency. Before beginning the troubleshooting process, it is critical to record any freeze data and perform a review of the general troubleshooting information, which can assist in diagnosing the issue accurately. Additionally, it's worth noting that this DTC requires a considerable amount of driving, about 162 miles or 260 kilometers, without refueling, making it challenging to replicate during troubleshooting. The error associated with DTC P0461 indicates a problem with the fuel level sensor, which is also referred to as the fuel gauge sending unit. This component is directly located inside the fuel tank and plays a pivotal role in determining the amount of fuel available for the engine. It sends this measurement to the Engine Control Module, ECM, which then translates it into a visual reading on the dashboard fuel gauge. If the fuel level sensor is malfunctioning, it can lead to inaccurate fuel level readings, causing potential confusion for the driver regarding fuel levels. This disruption in communication between the sensor and the ECM can also affect fuel efficiency and lead to unexpected stalling if the vehicle runs out of fuel. Understanding the exact function and location of this component helps in diagnosing the issue effectively. Several potential causes can lead to the appearance of DTC P0461. Primarily, the most common issue could be a faulty fuel gauge sending unit itself. This failure might stem from internal malfunctions, such as worn-out components within the sensor. Another critical factor could be poor connections or loose terminals associated with the wiring harness that links the fuel gauge sending unit to the ECM and the gauge control module. These issues can lead to inconsistent signals being sent to the ECM, disrupting its ability to provide an accurate fuel level reading. Additionally, a malfunction within the gauge control module could also be a contributing factor, as it is responsible for processing the signal from the fuel gauge sending unit. Each of these problems needs to be examined carefully during the troubleshooting process. When DTC P0461 is triggered, several symptoms can manifest, significantly impacting the driving experience. The most noticeable symptom is inaccurate fuel gauge readings. The driver may observe that the gauge does not reflect the actual fuel level, either showing empty when there's fuel, or showing full when there's little or no fuel left. This discrepancy can lead to erratic fuel level displays that fluctuate unexpectedly. Another serious consequence could be unexpected engine stalling, especially if the vehicle runs out of fuel while navigating. Furthermore, drivers may find themselves refueling more frequently than necessary, leading to inconvenience and unnecessary expenditures at the pump. Recognizing these symptoms is crucial for timely diagnosis and repair, thereby ensuring both safety and efficiency in vehicle operation. The first step in troubleshooting DTC P0461 involves testing the fuel gauge sending unit itself. This process consists of measuring resistance values or voltage levels to determine if the fuel gauge sending unit is operational. If the test results indicate that the sending unit is functioning correctly, the next focus should be checking for poor connections or loose terminals at its connection points, which could disrupt the signal. If, however, the tests reveal that the fuel gauge sending unit is defective, The appropriate action would be to replace the unit entirely before proceeding to the next steps in the diagnostic procedure. Identifying whether the fuel gauge sending unit is the source of the problem is crucial for efficient troubleshooting, as it is vital to ensure that the communication to the ECM is reliable. After testing the fuel gauge sending unit, the next step requires turning the ignition switch to the on-to position. This action energizes the vehicle's electrical system without starting the engine, allowing for checks of various components and systems. It is essential to have the ignition in this position before attempting further diagnostics with the Honda Diagnostic System, HDS, a specialized tool used for electronic vehicle troubleshooting and analysis. This step sets the stage for subsequent actions, including resetting the Engine Control Module, ECM, or Powertrain Control Module, PCM. At this point, attention needs to be paid to ensure that all related systems are receiving power correctly and that there are no additional error codes indicated. Following the ignition switch activation, the next step is to reset the ECM or PCM using the Honda Diagnostic System, HDS. The HDS is an essential tool that facilitates software diagnostics and can clear any stored trouble codes. Resetting the ECM/PCM is a vital action because it allows the vehicle's systems to restart fresh, reconsidering the values from the fuel level sensor without previous errors clouding the process. It is important to ensure that this reset is performed according to the specified procedure, as improper resets can lead to further diagnostic complications. After the reset is completed, the vehicle is prepared for the next stage of diagnosing any potential pending or confirmed trouble codes that may still be present in the system. The fourth troubleshooting step involves conducting an ECM or PCM idle learn procedure. This procedure is crucial for allowing the ECM/PCM to recalibrate its control over engine idle speed settings, ensuring that everything is functioning as intended. It is especially important after making adjustments or replacements, such as those to the fuel gauge sending unit, as the vehicle's computer needs to reacquire optimal performance parameters. During this process, the engine should be running without any abnormalities. If the engine idles smoothly, it confirms that the ECM has successfully adapted to the latest mechanical changes. Ignoring this step may lead to further discrepancies in vehicle diagnostics or performance issues, making it a necessary component of the troubleshooting process. The last step in this troubleshooting guide is to check for any pending or confirmed diagnostic trouble codes using the Honda Diagnostic System, HDS. This action will reveal if any further issues have been detected by the vehicle's onboard diagnostic system since the previous steps were completed. If any pending or confirmed DTCs appear, the technician must address those specific codes based on the related diagnostic procedures. Should there be no additional codes, it indicates that troubleshooting for DTC P0461 is complete and all systems have been checked. It is vital to thoroughly examine any new codes that appear, as they may provide insight into additional problems that could impact vehicle performance and safety. This step ensures a comprehensive approach to vehicle diagnostics and problem resolution. Once all the troubleshooting steps have been completed, it becomes necessary to perform a final repair verification to confirm that the repairs conducted were effective. This can involve taking the vehicle for a test drive to observe the behavior of the fuel gauge, ensuring that it now reflects accurate fuel levels correctly. Specifically, the technician should monitor the gauge over various fuel levels, observing if it behaves consistently and reliably. By ensuring that the fuel level sensor communicates effectively with the ECM, the overall functionality of the system can be restored. Completing this verification ensures that the vehicle is safe and operating efficiently. A thorough post-repair inspection also allows for identifying any lingering concerns before the vehicle is returned to the owner. Preventive maintenance plays a critical role in avoiding issues related to DTC P0461 in the future. Regularly checking the fuel system components, especially the fuel gauge sending unit, can help in early detection of any potential issues before they escalate into larger problems. Technicians should also monitor gauge functionality at intervals, ensuring that they remain accurate and without erratic behavior. Performing regular maintenance checks, including visual inspections of wiring harnesses and connection points, can prevent poor connections from occurring. It is advisable to follow a consistent maintenance schedule specified in the vehicle's manual. These proactive measures can significantly enhance vehicle reliability, leading to fewer unexpected issues on the road. In conclusion, effectively diagnosing and troubleshooting DTC P0461 involves understanding the inner workings of the fuel level sensor and its numerous components. This task requires accurate data assessment, proper use of diagnostic tools such as the HDS, and careful attention to the vehicle's symptoms. The fuel gauge sending unit is a critical component that must function correctly to ensure that drivers remain informed about fuel levels, enhancing safety and operational efficiency. By performing regular maintenance and checks, vehicle owners can reduce the risk of encountering similar issues in the future. Ultimately, a proactive approach to diagnosing and maintaining the fuel system contributes to the longevity and reliability of the Honda Civic from 2006 to 2011. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.